You already know what it is. Jay Williams, Let's Live Life, and we're back. Getting that pack brought in prison. Having a guard on the payroll. Being the inmate that's doing it, or the guard that's breaking one of the biggest laws you can break is being a correctional officer. The ins and outs, the good, the bad. Today's story is a crazy one, to say the least. Of a guard that just didn't know when to stop. And when he did want to stop, the inmates had other plans. Oh, you think you're gonna bring that in here and bless us and we flood this place and make all this money and live somewhat comfortable, and now you want to turn it off? No, it don't work that way, champ. And if you're a guard who gets yourself mixed up inside of that, the protection you once knew is now gone. Because you can't run to your officers and your buddies and lieutenants and sergeants and whoever it may be and say, hey, they want me to bring some more in, or they're going to do something bad to me. I told them I don't want to no more, but now they're going to do something bad to me. First thing they're going to do is ask you what you brought in, and you're going to jail. If you do find yourself in that situation, let it be. Leave it alone. Do your time and come home. And if you're a guard that's working a shift, and you just feel like this ain't enough money, don't do it. Don't do it. Your ass is going to go to jail, and you're going to end up being one of the people that you're supposed to be looking over. But enough of all that. Let's get into today's video. You know how to seen it, you know how to lived it, so let's relive it. Now, if you're watching this and you're an ex-con, or you're a correctional officer, or an ex-correctional officer, I think we can agree on one thing. Guards come and go. Correctional officers come and go. You'll see them one day and then poof, they're gone with no explanation. Next thing you know, you got new guards coming through, new guards getting hired on. And as the years have progressed with these guards just quitting these jobs, it's a very high stress environment. They started to hire anybody. Pretty much, if you could pass the background check and the couple of things and the age requirements, and you got a job. I've seen them all the way from 130 pounds all the way up to, yeah, somebody get that man an oxygen machine. He shouldn't be here. He should be on dialysis. But nonetheless, the guards come and go. I've been at some places where you had guards that were legends. Oh, that man's been here 20 years. They like to say, oh, we locked up just like you. No, you ain't. Stop it. No, you are not. And them ones that have been around that long are either going to be really cool or super, super. For some reason, it's like the good guards never really last. The guys run them off. But one of these places I was at in particular, and I'm going to leave the name of the place out. I'm even going to switch up the guy's nickname. Just for certain little details in this story, I got to leave some things out. So I'm at this one prison, and the level of violence there is just through the roof. Aside from knife attacks and just day-to-day fist fights, and then the extortion taking place and the robberies, and it even gets worse when it comes to man-on-man violence. It was a very bad place. A place that I heard one guard tell another guard, a new guard, this place will either make you an alcoholic or an asshole. But you're going to be one of the two. You might be both. I'm both. I don't know why I had to share that. That just kind of always stuck with me. But we could not keep a guard to save our lives. So they started giving these guards rank. This would be a 21, 22-year-old guard that is absolutely just nobody in the real world. You can tell the way he carries himself, the way he acts. He doesn't really demand respect when he talks. You can tell this guy is just, this is where he has the most power at. These guys get on the verge of quitting, and when they do, they come in and say, oh, don't quit. We're already understaffed. If you quit, I'll be working crazy overtime. We're just going to make you a sergeant. I guess that title alone makes these guards want to stay. But at this point in time, that wasn't working. A lot of these guys had never really seen real violence. A lot of these guys were fresh out of high school, and now here they are walking amongst the men. Some of the men in here are 4 times as old as they are, and they're supposed to be looked at as a figure of authority. It's not going to happen. So needless to say, we stayed with a fresh batch of young guards that didn't know up from down. They were always caught up in the middle of something, trying to write this charge, trying to be cool with this person, just trying to find their lane within DOC. There's an officer involved stabbing. A bunch of officers quit after this guard gets stabbed just because of, I guess you would say, how brutal the stabbing was, how violent the altercation was, and just the whole thing was just gruesome. And a lot of these younger guards quit. So now we know if the prison's short-staffed, we're not coming out the cell. We're going to be locked down. And eventually they'll bring new guards in. And when that happens, it happens. So be on the lookout for new guards. Now, when you're on these lockdowns, you're going to spend a lot of time at your door. Because you can only be in a cell looking around and doing but so much before you go stare outside the door to just see what's going on in the day room. You hear some keys, you're looking. You hear a door, you're looking. You hear somebody yell, you're looking. Everybody's always looking. So sure enough, like I've seen God knows how many times before, they do the run through with the new officers. I hear the doors open, I hear talking, I hear a familiar voice. It's a sergeant that's always in there. That's super loud. He's talking to these new officers that he's bringing into this prison setting, walking them through our pod, upper tier, lower tier, for the first time. Now, mind you, once again, a lot of these are younger adults. They're young. You're talking 18 to 25 years old, male, female, and of all different races. This, I think, would be a major shock to anybody. You went from being safe in the comfort of your car, your home, getting dressed, going to this new job today, only to be surrounded by the worst that society has to offer. People looking at you like you know for a fact that if they can get to you, they do something real bad to you or to each other. But I used to actually like when they would bring the new guards in, because it gives me a chance to see what people are wearing on the streets. They don't have uniforms on. They're still in their street attire. So I get to check everybody's feet, see what type of jeans people are wearing, like how has fashion changed in all this time that I've been locked up. And let's not beat around this part. There's females mixed in that group. I'm in a strictly male environment, with most of the female guards not really being much to look at. But you'd be surprised how different a woman looks from being in her DOC uniform to her street clothes. So you're gonna pay a little bit of attention to them people coming through, as I did. I scanned this group of new officers and nobody really stands out to me. There's no females in there. It's like, damn, look at her. No guys in there that look like ball breakers, like they're gonna be down on top of you. Everybody's young for the most part. Guys are at the door yelling at them, yelling at the females, just trying to scare these guards. And you got the sergeant walking with them. He could quickly shut this down, but I think this gives him a chance to see how his officers are going to act under distress. And it gets crazy. Guys kicking the door, banging the door, and yelling crazy things out at these new officers. After this, they leave out. They go to other parts of the prison, walk around. I guess they're further detailed in what they got to do with their job. And then we don't see them again, usually for a couple of days, upwards of a week. Now, there's a lot of buildings within prison. Prison's not just one building. That's not how it is. There are buildings everywhere with inside that razor wire fence that do all types of different things. Some of these guards might go here. Some might go here. You might be lucky if you get 2 out of that batch of 12 that just came through. We actually ended up getting 4. 2 downstairs and 2 upstairs. Remember when I told you nobody really stood out in the group? Even though they didn't stand out, you remember the faces. You get good with faces once you've been locked up. And I recognized the one dude, the dude from today's story, immediately from the time they walked through. Best description of this guy, 20, maybe 21. If he's 22, he's aging like Benjamin Buttons. Like, I'm being generous by saying 20. Maybe 5'7", 5'8", curly hair, a whopping 140, 150 pounds at the most. This dude did not look like he belonged, and of Spanish descent. I don't know if he was Guatemalan. I don't know if he's Venezuelan. I don't know if he was Mexican, what he was. What I do know is he spoke Spanish really well. We'll get into that. But he comes in and he looks, best way to put it, terrified. It's his first time on the floor by himself. He's been walked through with the other officers a couple times in different buildings. Now he's at where he's going to be and he walks in for the first time. Dudes don't give 2 shits about that, you being a rookie. They're going to run up on you. Hey, man, I need some toilet paper. I need this, I need this, I need this. And that's what guys start doing. What does he do? He takes out a pen and a piece of paper and starts writing down everything they want. And these other guards will be like, man, put in a request form. I'm not doing all that. I'm not your slave. But he writes all this stuff down, and he keeps on walking, and he's trying his best not to be nosy like a guard usually is, like looking in cells, because that's kind of what you got to do to make sure everybody's alive. But he kind of like nonchalantly walks, thumbs tucked in the front of his belt, just walking down the tiers, and boom, he disappears. About an hour or so goes by, and he comes back with a cart. This is a big brown cart with 4 wheels you push. It's got all this different stuff in it. I need, hey, inmate such and such, I need you, and inmate such and such, I need you. And he starts calling out the names of these inmates that have started making requests. Things they wanted. Things they never would have got if it wasn't for him. And then he did something I hadn't seen done in a long time. I actually hadn't seen anybody do this other than a lieutenant. A Spanish guy had hollered at him and spoke to him in Spanish. He spoke back. Spanish guy asked for a new pair of boots. It's officer. And yes, these are my DOC boots. Gives him a brand new pair of boots. Isn't that crazy? I still got these. Yeah, check them out. That's what you get to look forward to. That's your boot in prison. There it is. That's your boot in prison. And these are my actual prison boots. But the officer gives this Spanish dude a pair of boots. I guess the Spanish dude told him, hey, look at mine. Mine are messed up. I need new ones. You can go get them. They won't ask you no question. You can just take them and bring them back to me. I'm not asking you to break no rules. Just want some boots. He just messed up. He has opened the floodgates to be bothered the hell out of. There's nothing wrong with helping somebody, but you can't be taken advantage of. And these dudes will eat you up. They ate this man up quick. He's got his pad out. He's writing down this. He's writing down that. But as he's writing this stuff down and these guys are telling him what they need, these Spanish dudes walk up. I know these dudes. These are active gang members. These are MS13 gang members. You can't mistake them. It's plastered on their face. It's plastered on the side of their face, top of their heads. But these Spanish dudes are plastered with these MS13 tattoos. This is a very violent pod. The majority of us, the guys in here, are not getting out anytime soon. So they get up there to where everybody's at, and when they start talking, they're talking in Spanish. The other inmates kind of fall back. These are not dudes you want problems with, especially if you're just an everyday dude who was trying to get a roll of toilet paper. Man, I'm not trying to interrupt y'all's conversation. You got that. Don't stab me. A couple little scraggler dudes leave off, and Spanish dudes are now standing there talking to this new guard. This is his first day. This is his second time leaving through the pod, but they're talking in complete Spanish. We don't understand anything that they're saying, but he understands, and they're conversating back and forth. After a couple minutes, they smile. He leaves up out of here. A little bit after lunch, he comes back in with the cart. He's handing stuff out, and dudes start coming up, and the MS13 dudes walk up and say, hey, no more, no mas, no mas, no mas, no. Pretty much letting dudes know, y'all about to ruin a good thing. If we need something small, this dude can bring it to us, and y'all got him running all over the prison, bringing stuff back and forth to us. That's going to get him in trouble and get us in trouble. Just chill. But that ain't what it was. They had a bigger plan for this dude. So the dude's back down. Ain't nobody asked for nothing. He passes out a little bit of stuff. Hey, I can't do this no more. They ask me what I'm doing. People questioning, where you going with all this stuff? It's your first day here. What are you about to open a Dollar General? So he leaves out. The rest of the day goes smooth. Nobody's really busting his balls. Dude's making little jokes. Man, you ain't nothing but a baby, ain't you? Well, I got kids older than you. How you gonna tell me what to do? Man, you ain't got enough ass in them jeans to be bossing me around. Dudes are just giving him a rough time. It's his first day. He comes back the second day, and it's the same thing. He's doing his rounds. He's in the booth for a little bit. He's doing his rounds. He's back in the booth. Doing rounds is just when you walk a circle in the pod, and then you go upstairs on the top tier, and you walk down. You go through a door, and you come out on the other side where there's another pod, and you're just making sure that everybody's still here and nobody's hurt, more or less. So he finishes up the bottom tier. He walks by. We look at him. I nod. He keeps it moving. I'm tracking him, and I just go back to talking to the people I'm talking to. He goes on the top tier, and as he gets about halfway down, I'd say a little more than half, the Spanish guys up there stop him and start talking to him. Now, once again, I know little Spanish. I'm married to a Spanish woman, but I'm not fluent. Not enough that if they were having a complete conversation, I can be like, oh yeah, that's what they were talking about. That's not me. These MS13 dudes got this dude on the top 10 and talking to him. This is day 2. He's been at work now. And he pulls his little pad out and he starts writing things down. I already know what it is. They don't want you bringing back things to other inmates because that benefits them. They want you for their own personal gain. But he starts writing things down. All right. And he disappears off again. You come back a couple hours later, he's got that brown card again, and he goes to this one inmate's cell. Looks around, and somebody says, hey, such, CO looking for you. Goes up there, and he starts handing him boots. Boots. Prison boots. I guess this inmate say, hey, look, me and some of my friends, our boots are worn out. They're really, really bad. We need some boots, man. When I ask for anything illegal and I ask you to do anything, just what the prison's supposed to give us. We can put in request forms and they'll eventually come to us. But who wants to walk around for 6 months with the heel of their boot falling off? Just grab us some new boots and we'll stay out of your way. He brings these boots and gives them to this inmate. No sooner than that happened, everybody in here seen this, he adopted the name Boots. I'm not going to say his real name, but his nickname was Boots. From just the stupid amount of boots he passed out in the first 2 days. So there's so much going on at this time that I'm not really paying attention to him. I don't know that I'm going to be a YouTuber and he's going to be videos one day and stories one day. So I don't pay much attention. But what I do remember about this time is that out of nowhere, a lot of stuff started coming in. There was a lot of dope floating around, a lot of yak floating around, things of that nature. But when it came to the tree, there wasn't a lot of tree. And the reason for that is a bag of, some dope this big around is going to net you $500. A bag of tree that big around, yeah, you're not going to, $50. So shortly after this guard starts working here, there's just, the smoke is plentiful. And it's the Spanish dudes that got it. Now, the way the Spanish dudes worked in there, and I don't do the politics, I have nothing to do with it, but they would rather deal with a white dude that had some power, a white dude that had some size, before they would deal with a black dude. Why? I don't know. Maybe he'd been ripped off. Maybe he felt safer. I don't know. Maybe he felt he could beat the white dude. Who knows? But these Spanish dudes start dealing with this big-ass white dude in our pod. I'm not even going to say his name. I'm just going to say big-ass white dude in our pod. And now there's tree all day. There's all types of smoke in here. These MS13 dudes were known for making moves, so it's nothing out of the ordinary for them to have something to sell or have their hands in the middle of something. But this is a lot more than what we're used to. Like, you can actually go get you a sack if you want. This would continue on for months and months of it just being plentiful. The guards are smelling it. They're hitting us with piss tests. Guys are failing, getting dirty. I ain't never going home. Who cares if I fail a piss test? That's how a lot of guys look at it. I got 65 years. You think I care if you give me 6 more months for a dirty urine? Man, get out of my face. Dudes are going to smoke. They're going to do what they do. They're shaking down a lot in here. When a sergeant walks in, or a lieutenant, or a unit manager, or assistant warden, or warden walk in the building, and the first thing they smell is trees, they smell weed smoke in the air, it's a problem. We used to argue with other inmates, man, y'all put something there, wait till y'all go to the yard over there, like y'all making the whole block high. Y'all gonna get somebody caught that ain't even smoking. Get us to offer something unrelated. So things start to get hot now that all this tree has hit the yard. I'd say it'd be a better part of a month or so before the rumors started escalating. And y'all know Boots is bringing them boys that stuff in. Hey, they talking about they about to have next level. They about to lock down the dope game. They about to lock down the coke game. They about to lock down everything. Like, these dudes got plans to just pretty much get all the money in here. Nothing you're going to get brought to you in the visitation room and smuggle back is going to match what they got coming in. But that's also a very dangerous thing, because now this officer's name is out there. If I know that he's the one bringing it in, everybody else knows. I'm not the dumbest, but I'm also not the sharpest tool in the shed. And then it happens. Everything is escalated. We got a tree in here now. There's plenty of tobacco floating around. There's pretty much anything you could think of that you wanted to get your hands on the streets next to a weapon. You can get your hands on. For the right price, them boys saying they can get you a little drink in there. For the right price, them boys get you a phone. Now, like I've said, it always ends bad. It ends bad time and time again in this story, but we're just going to get to the first occasion. When we go to chow and everybody comes out the building, there's 2 doors you can go out. And then straight forward ahead is another building. You walk over, go a little bit ways down, and go through these doors. And that's the chow hall. You usually got officers standing outside your building as you're exiting your building, and then officers outside the chow hall and then in the chow hall. They're just everywhere. But they're always going to be outside these buildings as we're coming out, because there's a lot of inmate movement, and that's where things pop off. So we all leave out to go to chow. We're walking across. I happen to look over, and I see these Spanish dudes standing there talking to Officer Boots. And it don't look like it's a very good conversation, but at the same time, they're not going to draw attention to themselves, but they're talking in Spanish. Go on, finishing my meal. These MS13 dudes come in, get their trays, they eat. I exit out. Walk up to the building, Boots are standing there, put my hands up, turn around, he passed me down, I go on in the building. But his whole demeanor has changed. He's not the chipper dude he usually is. He used to smile a lot. No, he's like, yeah, how you doing today? He was real friendly, approaching type dude. Now all that's going out the window. He's not helping dudes no more. And not only is he not helping dudes when it comes to doing that little list he used to do, he's not really talking to inmates like that. He nods, got the I just ate a shit sandwich looking face. Everybody comes back in. A little bit later, officer walks by and stops at this one Spanish dude's cell, one of these lead MS13 dude's cell, and they're standing there talking. But it's a white dude, tall-ass white dude. I've talked about this dude named Bobby that was in the cell next to him. Bobby was ex-military, and I don't know if they taught him to speak Spanish in the military, but the man spoke beautiful Spanish. Like, you would not be able to pick it from this person said it or that person said it. His Spanish was that good. Now, Bobby's not fully standing out in the doorway where you can just see him in plain view, but he's standing by his doorway inside his cell, and he's listening to this officer talk back and forth with this high-ranking MS-13. Conversation wraps up. The officer tries to keep it short and brief. Other officers are watching. You don't want to draw no attention, but we're not stupid. We've already heard that you bringing it in, and we're watching. Pretty much guys start watching because you want to try to find a way to slide your way up in there and try to make him do something illegal also. He's probably the best chance you got of getting something from the free world brought in here, as these dudes are doing. So in the days to come, I start hearing the rumors that Bobby's spreading. Hey, I overheard them talking. I understood everything they said. The officer said he's not bringing that amount in. They said, we've already sent the money. He said, well, then I'll just break it down to smaller, but I'm not bringing that amount of what y'all want me to bring in at once. It's a bulge. I'm going to get caught with it. Said the dude stood there and trying to explain to him how to break it down and so he don't get caught. And this is all while we're all watching, but we don't understand what they're saying. And the guard says, all right, I'll see what I can do, and walks off. Now, in the meantime, you got gang members plotting on this dude. Like, they're really plotting to rob the correctional officer, grab him, pull him into a stairway, tear his clothes off, do whatever they got to do to get at it. But you got these MS-13 dudes that the moment you do this, they're going to tear you apart. So dudes are trying to devise a plan. I know this. I'm in the cell with a gang member at the time. They're trying to devise a plan of how to take this officer down, get it off of him, not get caught for doing it, and not let the MS-13 dudes know they were the one doing it. So as the weeks progress, the drugs come in heavier and heavier and heavier, to the point we got dudes going now. We got people overdosing. We got people getting locked up because they're acting crazy and suspicious and tweaking and staring out the windows in the cells. The guards are on to something. They know that somebody's bringing this stuff in. They just can't prove who it is. They haven't caught anybody. They're doing the dogs outside the facility, doing the body scanners. They're doing everything they should be doing, but they can't catch the person bringing it in. Whatever way the Spanish dude told him to do was working. So now it's to a point that anytime this guard stops and talks to these Spanish dudes, Bobby tries to make it his business. If he sees the guard coming down the tier, he's going to go ahead and go in his cell so he can fall back and be nosy. Just everybody's nosy in prison, including me. So the guard stops at this cell again, right? Weeks have passed. You can tell they got some type of relationship going on. When I say relationship, business relationship going on, just because of the way they conduct themselves each other. You don't stop. We ain't never even spoke. You don't stop and talk to me. Like, we ain't got no kick it. But you always stop and talk to the same MS13 dude. They tell you when they hire you, don't fraternize. And this is why. Once you start fraternizing, it opens doors to, hey, do this, do that, to dudes to pressure you. You're only human. A lot of people going to buckle. He stops at the door one day, and this has been going on now, better part, probably 3 months, 4 months. This new guard, Mr. Boots, has been bringing this stuff in. This stuff started right out the gate. He didn't take no time. These guys done pressured him. He's Spanish, they're Spanish. We speak the same language. And not only that, they're very intimidating individuals. Let's be real. But Bobby relays the message. Guard said he's not bringing it in no more. And old boy said, you are going to bring it in. We're not stopping. We got a certain goal. We're going to do this. We're going to do this many more times, and then we'll let it go. We'll let it go. I'm not bringing it in no more. He said, dude tells him, well, you going to bring it in or you won't go home. We're the reason you go home. Never forget, we're the reason you go home. And if you go get your guard buddies and you tell them what's going on, they're going to start looking into us. And somebody's eventually going to tell what happened, and you're going to go to jail, and I'm still just going to be in prison. There's no goodbye, no bye, no whatever, and walk off. It was more just a pissed off walk off from a conversation real quick and down the tier and about it. Now things get weird. For like the next week and a half, 2 weeks, we don't see this officer. These Spanish dudes are snapping out. Bobby overhears them. Bobby lives literally, when I'm telling you, if that man farts in that cell, you're going to hear it. Bobby keeps relaying, man, they're all talking, saying the man took a bunch of money and he ain't brought the stuff in. They're going to have the people get at him on the streets. So this guard had been meeting these MS-13 dudes, homeboys on the streets. They got his phone number. They know where to find him at. They know that this man leaves here at about 6 o'clock in the evening. All they got to do is follow him down the street and they've got him. So they're snapping out. Boots ain't brought the pack in. Boots has been paid for the pack. Boots told y'all he wouldn't bring in the pack in. So essentially, these Spanish dudes have had their homeboys meet up with this officer on the streets, give him his money. Here, this is yours for taking it in, and make sure this gets into him. Don't open it, don't look at it, just make sure it gets to him. And the pack never made it in. So now dudes are speculating he got caught, he got fired, or he quit. Come to find out, the officer told him he needed a break from the building. Y'all got to put me somewhere else for a little bit. Most days there was something violent that happened in here, enough to where if you were a newbie or a rookie type cop, you'd be like, hey, can y'all maybe put me somewhere else for a couple days so I can get my sanity back after what I had just seen? Then I remember after a couple weeks, I want to say it was like the beginning of the week, I'm up for breakfast, it's 5:30, they're about to do count, and I see two officers standing out there with clipboards getting ready to count the inmates. They go by, look in your cell, shine a light in, make sure you stand up, let me see, yeah, that's a person. And as I look out, I see a little short black female, and then I see Officer Boots standing there. Oh, he didn't get fired. Oh, he didn't quit. It is true, he just went to administration for a week or so. He's back. They walk through, Spanish dude's at the door looking at him, and he walks right by his door. Keeps it moving. They leave up out of there. About 15 minutes later, I look up. Here comes Boots down the tier. Now you see cell lights start to come on. You see him stop at one door. I think this was a throw off. He stops at one door, says something, walks down. Stops at another door, says something, walks down. Then he stops at the Spanish dude's door, turns to where his body's kind of facing the slot, and puts his hand. Like you see his hands go from the side up to here. Let me know he's reaching for something. You see him fumble around. He's got the door blocked. And I'm guessing at that point he dropped that boy's pack inside the cell and kept it moving. In the days to come, violence ensues. Chaos rules. Once again, we got guys ODing. We got guys running up big debts. This guy owes this guy. This guy tricked this guy. It's just constantly, the drugs cause constant chaos inside the prison. So now word through the grapevine is that this is done. After the guard did that last move, he wasn't doing no more. That's it. He's done. It's over with. A couple more days, I hear about an altercation on the side of the building. They had the MS-13 dudes had the guard over the corner, man, ready to cut that guard up behind that. I mean, whatever they got going on. Boy, then pulled a knife on him. About 5, 6 of them got him in the corner, ready to do something real bad to him. He's scared to death. I said, what he doing when he came off the yard? He went and got more officers? Nah, he straightened his shirt up, looked around to make sure ain't nobody see what was going on, and he peeled out. Stop. So these boys now done pushed up on him. Snatched him up when no other officers could see. He's on his yard by himself, out of view of the tower. The side of the building's a blind spot. Put him up there and put the knife on him and told him, we're going to continue to pay you and you're going to continue to bring the money in or we're going to have a problem. You understand me? And I don't know if he said yes. I'm going to guess he said yes. Yes. Just let me go clean my underwear. Yes, I got you. Yeah, whatever you say. Whatever the case was, he walked off like nothing had happened. He disappears again. I don't know if they put him upstairs, they put him over here, they put him over there. Wherever he goes, he disappears for another week, and then he comes back. Except this time when he goes by the door, he don't drop no pack off. He doesn't stop and have a conversation. Comes back in that morning, hey, stand by for chow. Dudes are yelling, hey, come here. Spanish dudes are yelling for him. He turns around and walks back out the door. Now, instead of standing outside our building where he would usually be when we come out to go to chow, he's standing over the chow hall with a sergeant beside him. Ain't nobody about to bust a move or say anything with that sergeant standing there, because he's going to pick up to something's going on and your ass is going down. So the Spanish dudes can't really get at him at this point. But this is what I know about these dudes. They don't care. You can be in the visiting room holding your kids, and if they decide to attack, that's what they're going to do. But at this point, from what I'm hearing, he don't owe them any money. He doesn't have a pack he's supposed to bring them. He's just not agreeing to meet with their people no more. So one way or another, they convince this dude one more time, huh? One more time, that's all it's going to be. It'll be something small, and that's it. One more time. And he agrees to it. Everybody's on standby. Waiting for this to come in. Waiting for that to come in. Nothing happens. This guard was supposed to come back the following day with this pack. Nothing happens. Second day goes by. No guard. Nothing happened. And the third day comes, and it's a little bit after lunch when everything happens. The cell doors don't open. That's standby for chow. Right? The cell doors opening. And we see them push these big, tall, brown carts in there with all our trays stacked on them. That means we're not coming out the cell. That means we're locked down. That means some shit's done happened. And we about to find out pretty soon here what's going on. And they come around, they passing trays out. Here's your lunch. Here's your lunch. Hey, what happened? I ain't got nothing to do with that. I'm just passing you a tray. You want juice with that? And they keep it moving. So now inmate.com is buzzing. The inmates are, hey, yo, did you hear about this? Or, no. Spanish dudes are yelling back and forth in Spanish. You got Bobby at the door listening, translating to his celly what's going on. None of us really know what's happening. We just know we're on lock. You got guys trying to hide stuff in their cell, stash their weapons, stashing wine, stashing drugs, tattoo equipment, everything you ain't supposed to have. Guys are hiding because when you're locked in the cell like that, you know one thing for sure. They're coming. And they're coming deep. They're coming with K9s. They're going to tear these cells apart. Guys are going up out of here. You just better pray for the best. But that's not what happened. It wouldn't be but about an hour later, a whole bunch of these men in black, the CERT team comes in. These guys are tall, laced up, black military boots, black cargo pants with the black pockets on the side. Most of them are jacked up, you know what I mean? Black button up. I mean, just long sleeve. Like, they're the guys in the Department of Corrections that's going to kick your ass if you get out of line.
We top flight security of the world, Craig.
They come in on the bottom tier, they come in on the top tier. And if you're MS13 or affiliated with MS13, or even so much somebody kicks you with MS13, your door would open. Turn around, present yourself to be cuffed, they back up, they cuff them, lead them up out of there. One by one, they lock all these MS13 dudes up. And after they got them all gone, they come in and they hit cell 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going cell by cell. And before they leave the cell, they tell you, here, piss in this cup. They screw the top on, sign right there to your initials. They put the seal on it, and they put it in the tray. So they're searching every cell. They're searching for drugs. And they're collecting urine from every single person in here. We stayed on lock for about the next week. Cells are open where these guys got locked up. We got whole entire cells in the pod open now. Guys I've been around for quite a while now are gone. And the rumors are just going crazy. They caught the guard coming in with the pack. Somebody told. There's all these different things that people are speculating what's going on. And then we come off lock and we go back to our normal prison routine. Meanwhile, dudes are still gossiping about what could have happened, but these Spanish dudes are gone, so none of us really know what happens. And then it all comes out. I don't remember how we got the details and what happened. I want to believe it. I want to say it was an officer that worked in the chow hall, was talking to one of the inmates. But the story we're told is Officer Boots is at a gas station when he's approached by some of these MS-13 dudes. These are dudes that have given him in the pack in the past. I told him, I guess, meet me at this gas station. It's right down the street from my house. So they know that when he gets off work, most guys are going to hit the closest gas station to their house. They approach him in his parking lot trying to get him to bring stuff in. When he disagrees, they jump him. They hurt him. They smash him out, beat him down. Other people in the parking lot see this officer in a uniform, this DOC uniform, just got jumped by a bunch of Spanish guys. He's bleeding. They call for help. At which point, Officer Boots tells the police everything. At this point, the cat's out the bag. You just got jumped by a bunch of MS-13 dudes, right? Which are not common where you live at. You work in DOC. A subsequent search of his car found materials related to smuggling stuff in. Search of his cell phone, all these things, brought up the messages. And just like that, he went from being somebody that looked over inmates to being an inmate himself. Some MS-13 dudes weren't playing when they said you couldn't stop. You never had the option of stopping the moment you started. You thought that just bringing somebody a pair of boots or a roll of toilet paper was all that was in for it, was all they wanted. But then they started speaking to you in Spanish, and you crossed that line and doing something that was personal. And then it became more personal. And then it became business. And then, as I say, it always ends bad. Now, this video was not aimed to slander any MS13 dudes or anybody in general. It's just something I went through, something I seen, something I lived through. My advice to you as a corrections officer, do your job, go home. My advice to you as an inmate, do your time, go home. Anything in between that, you're asking for trouble. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed today's video. As you know, it is Friday. That means it is payday. Got to get this money, got to get paid. Things like this happen all the time when it comes to institutions. It's up to you to make sure you don't play a part on either side. The part of being the bad officer, or especially being the guy that's locked up. There's a moral in everything, people, even a bullet. But anyways, these streets, these jails, these prisons, they're all just crazy worlds inside of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Oh, you're not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams. Let's live life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. And y'all know how we do. Salute.